Welcome to Ion Hermosa Beach. It's election season here in Hermosa, and because of that, we invited in some local residents to talk about what they see as the main issues. We also then invited in all 5 city council candidates to respond to those concerns and also provide them with a platform to speak directly to the voters. We hope that you learn a lot through this process.
Well, first of all, let me start by thanking you for allowing me this forum, because as you well know, there are so many issues that really are of concern to not only the people in the know, but even our new residents here in Hermosa. My name is Rick Koenig. I'm a 4th generation Hermosa resident, excuse me. My great uncle got here in 1897, and him and my grandfather pretty much built the town. Speaking for myself, I'm an ex-man of the year, ex-planning commissioner, built the museum, president of many different organizations here in town. And all that boils down to one thing, that I truly feel blessed to have grown up here and to have experienced the vibe and just the savoir-faire, you know, that is kind of unexplainable, the kind of magic that exists here. The reason that hundreds of thousands of people come here every year to visit for just a tiny slice of the pie, we have the whole pie. It was better in the old days, okay? It was a lot less complex world. And of course, I'm not somebody that suffers from restorative nostalgia, and that's somebody that thinks nothing should ever change. It has to change. But we need to quit trying to reinvent the wheel. We've spent 117 years fine-tuning this city, and it runs quite well. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that don't understand that God gave them 2 ears and 1 mouth, and they should listen twice as much as they talk. Okay? The problem that we have is people in their minds believe, some of our leaders believe that they are doing the right thing for the right reason. And they do not take the time to look at us residents, us longtime locals, and even our new locals here in Hermosa Beach, and listen and understand that there are reasons for things and that don't need to be changed. It's obvious. How do we keep that old town feel? We stop right now. We stop right now changing anything. We take a look back and we clean our own house. We look at our infrastructure, which needs money to fix. We look at, God, the list just goes on and on and on. You know, something tells me that I could probably spend an hour here, and I know we don't have an hour, but it really boils down to people that are our leaders, not only our elected leaders, but staff at City Hall, not making things more expensive and more complicated, because that gets into the whole business issue and the reason that so many of our stores are boarded up and people don't want to be here. I've been a contractor 47 years, and I've built lots of restaurants in this town, remodeled lots of houses in this town, and I can tell you in the last 3 years, it's very, very difficult to go through the whole building process, and that equates to money. That equates to money, and I've had clients say, you know what, I gotta go somewhere else, I can't do it. Let's circle right back around to transparency and accessibility. One of the reasons that people move to a small town is that if you live in Los Angeles City, you're not going to get a 6-pack and go to the mayor's house and discuss something. But that's not who we are. We're 1.4 square miles, and most of that is because we own the beach. We are one of the most densely populated, but still nothing more than just a pinprick on the map. We are a very small town. We like it that way. We cherish that. And in order for things to be set right, if you will, for lack of a better term, it requires people that are willing to look around and learn. And you know, I've walked into City Hall a couple of times, and I really felt like one of the great unwashed that was begging for scraps of food. You know, that's not the way it's ever been. Our city manager, I used to go in, I'd call him up, he'd say, I'm in a meeting, and go and wait in my office, I think I got some soda in the fridge, help yourself. That's how we roll. You know, that's why we cherish where we are. I think it keeps circling back to the same thing. It really does. People that are making decisions, number one, need to have the proper qualifications. And a lot of our departments in the city, They're good people, and they're 8 to 5s, and they pay their taxes and they go to work. The problem is they aren't the right people in many cases. They don't have the qualifications or the frame of reference or the programming to understand how to make these decisions. I'll give you a perfect example. It's going to cost, we're probably not going to have a St. Patrick's Day parade this year because there's some people in the city that are in charge of all the emergency and all the safety criteria. Well, they have decided that it's now, due to their scope, it's going to cost $70,000 instead of $30,000 to put on a 2.5-hour parade. Now that person is doing what that person thinks is right. But like they say in the Western, he ain't from around here. You know, almost every one of these questions really has kind of the same answer. It really does kind of dovetail and circle back to the same spot. How do you think we got into this? Well, I think delusions of grandeur would probably be a good way to start answering that question. I don't think that I'm qualified to really speak to that in its whole, but from what I've seen as a contractor and somebody that's involved with the city, you know, I built the museum, I built our emergency operations center, I remodeled the theater, I've worked on City Hall, I've been here for a while. Once again, how do we get here? The bigger question is, what's the solution? And putting a positive spin on this instead of a negative spin. You know, okay, this is the way it is. What do we do to fix it? Right. And I wish I had those answered for you. Yeah, okay. How do I answer this and still seem like a nice guy on camera? No, it's a terrible idea. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. The reasoning has been that our city hall is so dilapidated that it can't possibly be repaired for any kind of money. Well, not true. Not true, okay? Secondly, you go to the East Coast, you'll see city halls that are smaller, that are 200 years old, that service cities with more population than we have. Okay, so let's look over the fence and kind of figure out what we really need. And thirdly, do we want to go into business? Do we want a joint venture with a hotel developer so we can afford to pay for it and end up with some chrome and glass thing with reflective windows? That question answers itself. Absolutely not.
We wanted to thank everybody who participated in our show. We hope that all of you learned a lot at home. We want to make sure that you get out and vote. And thank you for watching Ion Hermosa.